Hello. Today we were going to look at the Forex trade again. This time it is on copper. So copper has been, in a downtrend after this bar here, and then it's really sitting around inside a range, which doesn't always make for the best Forex trades. However, the ranges are really wide on copper, which gives it potential. So starting with the daily chart, yesterday's high was 453.20. If we drop it down to a 5-minute, we see that we broke above it around European Open, which is 2 a.m. Central, 1 to 2 a.m. Central. And then it rallied up until 3:15, and then we got our short time frame pullback. So we know that this is an up bar. And we know that an outside bar continues the same as the previous, so that's an up bar. And then we get a string of down bars. An inside bar is the same as the one to the left. Down, 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 up bar. And inside bar keeps the same thing, up bar, down, down, down. Now, this is a very clean two-wave down pattern. Unfortunately, I was not awake at 4:15 in the morning when this triggered. And if you look at how it's done since it triggered, this bar was about 1.25 in length, so 8 times 1.25 would be about 10. 450.55. Did we get to 460? We haven't gotten to 460. That would be 460.55. This would be about 8x if we got up to here. So it looks like we're at around 6x right now. What do you do if you're asleep at 4:15 in the morning? Well, you draw that line and that line. And this breakout happened at 7:10 in the morning, a much more reasonable time. And it was followed by what I call the bald man pattern. Shout out to Jared Wesley of Live Traders. I call this the bald man pattern because Mr. Jared is bald. And he's an amazing trader and has some really good materials out there. But this pattern is a breakout bar, inside bar at the very top of the range, and then continuation. So that was one way you could have gotten back into it. The second way, and I will expound on this blue arrow here. This blue arrow is something I call a P1, something that I've completely developed myself just through decades of seeing this happen. But more particularly in the last few years, it's become more prevalent where there's kind of a large sell down that leads to an end, right? So there's not really a loss of momentum. This is ugly. This is more of a climactic end to a move. And what you can do is put a horizontal there and buy that breakout and have a relatively tight stop. So this is called a P1. Maybe in the future I will disclose how we get it. And the reason I pointed out that P1 is a couple of things. One is you want to look for a lot of confluence. So first you have, the break of previous day high. You have a beautiful two-wave down pattern, and then this is your breakout bar, and then your risk bar, and then you get a P1 right after it. That's great, and then because if you came in, obviously no one's expected to be up that hour trading. If you came in and followed all of this context, then you were ripe and ready to take that breakout when it happened. And then later in the day, if you go to a 15-minute chart, we got another P1 right here. So, you could buy it above the green bar, or here we're so close to the top of the red bar, I'd rather just buy it above there. And then what you typically get from a P1 is 2 legs up. So, looks like it was also a 15-minute P1 this morning. But basically when your P1 triggers, you can see how this is exactly 2 legs up, following all of our bar counting rules. Or maybe I'm assuming I'm going too fast through that, but I assure you if I went through bar by bar, that's how your 2 legs would show up. So now we've got the same thing happening here, and this is actually an equal high. I was watching it as it formed. So you've got an up, a down, and this lower low, 65, 60. Oh, this is actually up. So this is actually considered an up bar also, because it's a outside bar. So you could pretty much go long as soon as this bar closes and put a stop right below that bar, because if that breaks, then we've got an A, B, C, our two legs up being complete. So actually the end of this bar would make for a very tight entry. But anyway, that's just more reinforcement on this. I have a couple of more topics I wanted to hit today, but I'll keep them separate. This is the Forex, trade, for lack of a better word. Again, if you like the content, please drop a like, subscribe, and chat, and I'm happy to talk about it.